Okay, so I had you guys watch a George Carlin video. He's a very famous comedian. I'm a comedian as well. I love George Carlin. He's very powerful. The reason why I'm showing this video, yes, I'm aware that they're swearing. I know you guys are in high school, but this is adult. This is an adult class, so we can handle this. But what I'd like to do is, I'd like to look at this. I'd like to look at summarizing, analyzing, and evaluating. So if I had to summarize what George Carlin's message is, if he had a thesis, he's basically saying we're going away. The world is going to be here. We're not. We have no control over the earth. That would be his thesis, right? That would be what he's saying, right? He's saying that we're arrogant, and we think we have this special power to control our environment, but we have no control over it. The earth really controls us. Now, I'm not judging that. I'm not saying I hate this. I disagree with this. I love this. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just summarizing. I'm just telling you what he said, right? Now, if I had to evaluate it, this is where it gets more interesting. It's really good to show something controversial in order to do this. There's certain things that I agree with George Carlin. You could say that we only have a finite time on this planet. Every species on this planet has basically gone extinct. We probably will too. It's sad to think about, but I mean, it's hard not to argue that based on historical evidence. Well, I think that's a major point that I could agree with. And I could also agree that we don't control the planet, right? I can agree with that. The planet controls us, right? We don't have control over volcanoes or tidal waves or things like that. I do disagree with George Carlin. This is me evaluating, because he's saying that we don't have the capability to reset nature or control nature. I'm kind of going backwards on what I just said a little bit, but we do have the capacity to reverse nature. And a great example of that would be Rachel Carson. She wrote a book called Silent Spring. That book was about DDTs. They're poison. It's basically, what was it? It was pesticides that were getting into the soil, the water, the plants, and it was endangering the environment. And we banned those, and the earth restored itself, right? So there is evidence that we can reverse the course of nature in some instances. So he's saying that we don't, but in some cases we do. And then, so that would be evaluation, right? Judging. And then if I'm analyzing, near the end of his video, he says, look at those people in Pompeii. Look at those people in Armenia. Look at those people in Hawaii. Now, if we're isolating this, if we're cutting this out and looking at exactly what he's being said, the argument is, he's saying that people like to believe that they are impervious to nature, that they're bigger than nature, but it's not true. And it goes back to his argument that the earth controls us, right? And he does have a point there. If you look at a place like San Diego, a lot of people like to build houses on top of hills. And if you hold a match upside down, where does the fire go? It goes up, right? Now, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with what he's saying, but if I'm analyzing, I'm going to pull a smart part out and analyze, what does this mean? And that's furthering his whole argument, which what he started with is that the world controls us, earth controls us. And synthesis would work like this. I'd take another essay or another video that's in support of showing the dangers of global warming or something like that, and I'd run it against what George Carlin is saying. So I might have a quote from a scientist and a quote from George Carlin, and I can mesh those two together in an essay. That'd be me synthesizing together. And I hope this makes sense, but that is summarizing, analyzing, evaluating, and synthesis.